Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. Over me. Yeah.
All right, welcome to our web series, Talk to an Artist. Today will be a little different. Today we get to speak to our incredible artist, Aye Michael Eeh, who is both a wonderful musician, an incredible singer, a father, a husband, and one of our artists of color who get to perform at our Space 723. And as I was preparing for this week and wondering what we're going to post, this whole week has been really interesting in the life of our country. Last week, a Black man was murdered by police, George Floyd, in Minneapolis, and it has since incited a ton of protests about police brutality and what does it mean to be Black in America. And those protests have been met with more police violence, which has been a massive problem. And so I wanted to give space to not just talk about to not talk about art this week, but to talk about the reality of being Black in America. And obviously I can't speak to that. So I am happy to turn the reins over to the incomparable Aye Michael Eeh. And he's going to take this time to share his truth and to preach about what it means and what you can do to support our Black brothers and sisters in the fight for racial equality. So Aye Michael Eeh, our first kind of question that we're going to talk about is, for people like me with white privilege, who can never understand what it means to be Black in America, what do you want people to know about your lived experience?
Being Black in America is just like a death in the family. Everybody's affected by it, but everybody takes it differently. There are groups of people who may not truly fully understand what it means to go through it, but they understand that we are dealing with something. It's those people that you have to care about, and that I really thank you guys. Anybody out there that's been literally standing for equality, truly meaning what it means to be equality, even if it makes you uncomfortable, with you having to deal with a new culture, not a race, but a new culture. Because when we think of the word race now, race has been defined as cultureless with color. Like, so in other words, before you see me being a Black man or anything, before you see me being a Christian, before you see me being a Texan or Louisianan, before you see me being anything like that, you see my color. And that goes without saying with anybody. We see color, we all see color, but there's a difference in what happens and how our colors are received. Much like a stop sign, some people see green, some people see red. We all have families. We all have, we all want the same thing that you guys want, which is to be able to live in America or really any country, because we all have that right to be free and not have to worry about whether or not we'll even be able to make a home to our kids. Imagine being a Black father, and every month, in the beginning stages of your daughter's life, there's always that reoccurring thing. Even if it's not happening in your personal life, it's like, that could be me. That could be me out there. And so to any race, any person that doesn't understand it, imagine every time that you seen a Black male, and I'm gonna give you a very descriptive. Every time you seen a Black male, envision that being your race and your gender, and then realize why we're mad. Think about what a man means to, and this is not to say anything against any LGBTQ community, but think about what the man means to the family and to communities, as far as who's more likely, if a bank robber, and I say this to everybody, if a bank robber runs into a bank, the first person that they deem as a threat is the biggest man in the room, not the biggest woman. And so those things are things, as a man, we're taught to embrace that responsibility of protection. We're taught to embrace our community and protect our community when negative things arise. But and then we were speaking about this earlier. What happens when the community and the, you know, your city that you're trying to protect doesn't protect you? It makes you want to be reclusive. It makes you not want to go out. It makes you be less likely to achieve things because of the simple fact that you're thinking in the back of your mind, if I go to this area that could be predominantly white, or it could be, you know, it zoos of politics, like those things. Oh, man, it's the reason why Black people are not in politics. A lot of Black people aren't in politics seriously, like major politics, and it's not even the loopholes and jumps that we have to jump through. It's about the fact that we've had our brothers go through those things. We've had people go behind us and they end up shot, almost to the point to where now you have I know we have people that speak, but it's so many more I know that in the back of their mind are afraid that if they speak too clearly, too eloquently, too fluidly in the wrong environment, in the wrong situation, that could be our last time. I went to Prairie View University. I was very, very familiar with Sandra Bland. Very familiar. She was one woman that was not going to let you either overtalk her. She wasn't going to let anything go without true understanding. And she was, my God, one of the biggest reasons I even pledged my fraternity organization, loving her and knowing her as a bigger sister in my college. So when she passed, oh my God, it rose the whole activist inside of me. And so when you have that situation which happened in Texas, and then you have other situations that happen up north, it hurts our history now as Americans. It hurts our history because what was the Civil War really for? Was there really a north side versus south side? And if so, have those sides intertwined? Have they come back together to say, you know what, we really don't need them? These are things that in the back of our mind, because we used to think if we go up north, we would be safe. And if you check a lot of land, as far as like how much it costs to buy things, it's cheaper to live in the South. It's way cheaper to live in the South. So you have Black families and Black men that come from Milwaukee, that come from Detroit, that come from Chicago, that come from places where our brothers in our past went to be free. So it's hurtful to our history. It kills our history as a whole, because those men are now coming down to Texas because they understand that, or coming to Louisiana or Mississippi because they understand it's an easier means of living with what they've had to deal with the rise and what the pay that they've had to deal with. It's a smart move to come out here. It's a smart financial move where you can offer more. I just met a businessman, Lily, a dude selling food, barbecue in Texas. He is not even from Texas. Dude was from I think he said he's from North Carolina. So when you have all of these educated brothers and sisters and people that were put in places that were strategically developed to say, hey, we're the good guys, or we represent equality, we represent that all cops aren't bad, all white people aren't bad, or all things like that. And it's crazy because you come to the South and it's just like there's nothing you can do about it. There's truly nothing you can do about it. Like, before I lost my front tooth, I had this issue in Walmart where people would, like, I lived in a very, very racial part of town. And I lost my tooth early on. But before I lost my tooth, I would walk in Walmart. People would be willing to bump in me. But the more that I looked through it, I had been through something. People gave me more space. And it wasn't that I asked for it. I didn't ask for this at all. I didn't ask for that treatment. I didn't ask to get bumped into either. But it's because of what we as humans perceive as weak and strong. What has been tried and what has not been tried. What has been bested and what really hasn't been messed with. But the biggest thing, there's 5 things. There's 5 different people in the world, right? In America right now. Because America had 2 majority races before we became the melting pot that we are. First, it was a Caucasian majority during 1776, up until them bringing in slaves. And then that's when Africans became the majority. And right now, we're kind of mixed around to the point to where, depending on where you go and depending on where you are, it lets you know, depending on where you are, it just lets you know whether or not the race, as far as the percentage of race, as far as the population, like they all differ. Like Texas right now is majority Hispanic than more than it is white or black. And so that's something to think about as well, because when you think of it like that, it's like, okay, well, we're not even the majority. We're not even the bigger threat. It's like you have all of these Hispanic people right now that are literally making killings and growing. And it's not to say that we're out of jealousy. It's to say, listen, if you really still think that we're the threat, do you really think that we're just getting by? Like Black America is really just getting by, to be honest with you. The biggest thing that we do right now is entertain. And it's crazy. I tell my friends all the time, that's the reason why most Black people can't entertain Black people, is because our race is entertainers. We're entertainers as a whole, whether it be through comedy, whether it be through music, whether it be through sports, those things. And even still, like, once we make a splash in certain areas, it seems like people don't know how to let go, like with Obama. The man's been out of office for 4 years. I've never heard a president be spoken. I literally follow politics. I didn't hear this much about Bill Clinton when George Bush took over. I didn't hear this much about Bush when Obama took over. Why is it when we go from black back to this that we have to consider him as so much more? It's crazy to me. But back to the percentage. You have white people that understand and truly they feel, and they're compassionate. We really appreciate you guys. You have others that see it, know it's going on, and still don't care, or choose not to show the compassion or understanding, but they won't stand for it in their own life, if that makes any sense. It's like, okay, I see it happening to you, but as long as it doesn't happen to me, I'm okay with it. As long as it's not my daughter I seen getting flung around by the cops. I've seen little black girls get flung by cops. I've seen little black boys get shot, and it's videos of it. And as a parent, like I said, it's like being in a marriage. Being in America is because we're citizens. So by us being citizens, we're married to this country. We have a duty to this country that you got that we didn't even ask for, to a certain degree. That's right, baby.
Yes.
And the thing is, we don't want to teach our children to live in fear. We want to teach them that the world is a beautiful place. We want them to show them that there are things that are possible. We know that trials will arise and obstacles will come, but they shouldn't come based off of the color of your skin. They should come based off of your career choice. They should come out based off of what do you plan to do, what your surroundings, and as far as the educative part around it, or the true influence of it, as far as having a good peers around you, those things. Then you have a set of black people that are just ready to just go off at this point. Like, and there's a majority in that situation. I truly believe it's a majority that are just ready. And literally, to be honest with you, when Obama was president, that's when Black America was the most militarized. There was a lot of different times I was around different people in different situations, and what they would say was, all he has to do is get on the news and say black people revolt, and we're riding with them. That's the strength of having a true black leader. Now, when any other black man has ever gotten to that level, he has been gunned down. He has been shot. He has not been able to make it. And that little bit alone, it scares the leaders from wanting to step up. But more so, in the bigger hurt, is that it stops the leaders from even being able to have followers that can try to believe in that. Because when we've followed and when we have believed, we've watched it burn. So when you watch something burn, and when you watch something get beat up and blued and blacked and killed over and over again, and then you have people saying, I don't understand what the problem is in media, or they should just play basketball or play football. And it's like, no, these are the people that made it. And now that they've made it a way you didn't, that you approved of, now that they're speaking on things that you just wanted to turn a blind eye to. No, I want to go back to being entertained. I want to go back to being entertained. But you're trying to be entertained by a person that is worried about something. And that's like asking any artist to perform or do something after they've been through an emotional traumatic experience. It's like, no, I saw myself in him, or with depending on your reach and how high you go up in the world, there's no telling how many employees you can have that do know him, or connections that do know that black person. And it's crazy. how our latest one was related to Steven Jackson, the NFL player. And so that brought news on ESPN. And so Steven Jackson's been a commentator for ESPN so many years. He's done a great job, spoken eloquently. But when we step outside these boxes, and at first it was perceived and it wasn't received in a good way. It really wasn't. They were really, really, really reprehensible about it. But as time goes on, and as you see the same thing, and with media being what media is, it's in your face now. It's like it's so much in our face that literally Black America's sick of it. It's like being, like I said, it's like being cheated on in a relationship over and over again. Like every day you walk it, it's like you go out as a Black American, you go to your job, you go to work, you bring your child to school, and at the same time you come home to America. And to what America does is what? Cheating on you, sleeping on you, doing all of this stuff in your face. You come home, there it is in your face. You go to work, there it is in your face. Even the people at your job know about it. Even the people, people you don't even know that are walking around you feel you in a way that you might not even perceive it. That, like, oh man, like, and it sucks because it's not gender biased. It's not gender biased at all, because I've seen women be scared of Black women, and I've seen people be scared of Black men. And it's my whole situation is, as a Black man, it's like, nah, my women aren't a threat to us. Like that, it hurts to your soul, because like, as have a daughter, it's like, no, our women aren't, no, all our women aren't ghetto, all our women aren't ratchet, all of our women don't want to just, do those things. You know what I'm saying? We have rhythm, we like to dance, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hell, we've been shaking ass since Africa. I can't get mad about that shit. Can't get mad about it at all, because it's the truth, and it's a part of your heritage. Dancing is a big part of African heritage, and I'm not mad about that at all. I'm not mad about it at all. It's just mutated. It's evolved. Different beats, but at the same time, to those that we have and then you have our Black brothers. The fourth out of the fifth is we have our Black brothers and sisters that are literally afraid, but they still fight. They still go out and they still do it. Those radical people I pray for every day, because I'm not too, like, I'm watching videos and I don't know who's getting targets put on them. I don't I pray about those things. Okay, ain't no targets getting put on them. You're right. We try to think happy thoughts.
Oh, sweet. And
we try to be blessed through it all. But there's another group of people in America that are sitting side right now watching everything. And it's every other race except for Black and white America. And you have some races that are participating, but as a whole, right now, you're not going to see too many Hispanics. You're not going to see too many Asians, Andrew Yang, things like that. These guys aren't speaking out on this because it's not affecting them. But as African Americans, we believe that it's a domino effect. So if they get away with it with us, it's gonna happen to you. It was crazy. Like a lot of stories I read, like they said they put crack in the ghetto, but they forgot that there were white people there. And so when they, like, it's a lot of things that literally have affected their race to the point to where I've noticed how, and I hate to say it, how Caucasians would truly distance themselves inside their race based off of wealth, harder than any other race. Like if you don't have a certain amount of 401k plan, this, that, and the other, you can't even get inside certain buildings, let alone certain groups that they have. And it's inside those same groups that hides a lot of power and systemic racism. And so I say to all of those people that are in the fifth party, and the people that know about that and that are able to, please make them uncomfortable, because we're uncomfortable. Nobody that's Black in America can tell you that the month, and it is crazy. If you were to go through a year, there I think it was 8 out of 10 months. 8 out of the 12 months, we lost a Black person in some way or shape or form to cops. So imagine trying to forget it or trying to move on, and then here it is again in your face, and now it's a little black boy, now it's a little black girl, or it's another black man, and now the person might have been light skinned, and he might have been skinny, so you didn't identify with him, but now this one's dark skinned with a beard, got a nice fade trim, been working out, running. So to all of our athletes, it's like, am I gonna get shot while I'm running? You know, is somebody gonna see me trying to better my life, and because they see my color, think that I'm doing something negative? That's a mind fuck. That's literally brainwashing people. That's like living in a narcissistic home. Like, it's crazy. And man, I'm one of those people that believe in the people that I meet, like you. I believe in people that I love and care for, that care for me. But it's one thing that I do not believe in, which is that America is together. Because it's not. I know America isn't together. It's crazy. Sorry, but Texas is the only state that can separate the 4 states. There are no laws that say the other states can combine. So we're not even. We haven't been even for a while. And truly trying to I'm not even gonna say I tell people all the time, sometimes integration mess some things up, because what's going on in a lot of communities, it's happening in different ways. So one thing about Black race that we don't have the beauty of is having our true own language. So you have Asians that speak anywhere between Japanese, Korean to Taiwanese, all the way to Chinese. Then you have Mexicans that can speak, or Hispanics that can speak Spanish. They can speak Portuguese, depending on it, maybe Brazilian, but at the same time, they're closely connected. And then you have us, Black people, and us, white people, that have to speak in English.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so with that, there was a lack of culture inside of our race, inside of America, as far as African Americans, when it comes down to being able to understand our true. What's wrong, Mama? What's wrong? To sleep.
Oh, she's so sweet and so beautiful.
But yeah, we go through, so that scene that you just witnessed. Yeah. That's Black America right there. That's the headache of Black America. We live like you. Hold on, let me put my daughter to sleep. I could walk out those doors, and if I do the wrong thing, is that going to be my last time holding my daughter? We think like that on an everyday possible basis in different ways, shape, or forms, even if we don't full out flatly think it's there subconsciously. And that therein lies your anger. That's why Black America is angry, is because we have to think with this headache that apparently I don't give a about. And back to the relationship, to the contract, it's like, well, if you don't give a about me, what the fuck I'm doing caring about you? You know, and so I'm afraid for America, because it's like, I want Black America to go to war for us. If something happens, I want Black, but at the same time, if the wrong country invade and say the wrong thing to Black America, it's gonna be hard for I'll be honest, it's gonna be hard for Black people to truly respect American culture or the government after that. Yeah. Seriously, like I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a very radical person, so at certain days I just think to myself, well, what if this happened, and what if people said these things? What would you do? You ever have, you know how people play those games when you're drinking in college, like, what would you do with this, that, and the other? We've had, like, in Black America, we'll play those games, and you'll hear questions like, well, what if a country took over and said all Black people can make it if they revolted? And majority of the room will get up and say, well, I'm riding with the person that's riding with me, because America, and then they will gladly say they'll say, because America hasn't been for us. Mm-hmm. And so it's crazy. It's just crazy. Because living in America, it's a headache. And like I said, if there's anything I can tell anybody about my experience living in America, especially as an entertainer, is that our race is already entertainers. So we're not easily entertained. In fact, we probably have a shorter, tolerance to it than anybody else I know.
Mhm.
And then second off, if I could say anything else to anybody that's listening to this, anytime you see a black person, I remember one thing I would do, just try and hug them.
Mhm.
Because a hug is a way that you show true compassion. The kids can be deceived as something different, but if you just come up to a black person and say, listen, it's too much shit going on right now.
Mhm.
Can I just give you a hug? Like, things like that let you know that it helps reaffirm that the everybody's not bad.
Right.
Because you can't say everybody's not bad if on their personal level they're not receiving any positive experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether it be through their community, where they live at, or anything like that. You can't say that. You can't at all, because it's not true. It's not true. It's like everybody's not bad, but everybody in that person's life is bad. You know what I'm saying? All the cops that come around this person right there don't have his best interest in mind.
Mm.
And I live in a very mixed neighborhood, to be honest with you. So I have like 3 neighbors that are cops,
Mm-hmm.
and like, not gonna lie to you, it bothers me sometimes seeing them ride by. Like, and I know, and like I have to, and like in my mind, I have to get used to them not being a cop because they're my neighbor.
Mm.
It's like, okay, yeah, that's my neighbor. Let me wave.
Yeah.
Let me try and be cordial with my neighbor, and then hopefully it'll go somewhere along with them on their route.
Mm.
That's my prayer. It's like, okay, let me be a better neighbor. Because I'm just like, I might be the best thing or the only thing they know to
Yeah.
to the people that they may go arrest or have to go deal with later. That could be through protest. That could be through, my dog just hit my table.
Oh no.
But that's all I want to say about that one. Is just that
Yeah.
it's hard. It's been hard. It's
Yeah.
not going to get any easier anytime soon. The only thing that we can truly do as Black people is just try our best to just get by. And it sucks to say that. Like, that's all we can try to do is just get by succeeding in life, get by with our business, building a business, get by and make it to the next world. And we don't want to just get by. We want to be able to make a splash, but until we truly make a splash, and funny thing about that is that we watched our people that have made it to the top get treated like us. No recognition. You got football players that have been arrested in the city that they play for,
Mm-hmm.
just because they're Black. It's just like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I could be Bill Gates and I'm around and I'm on the wrong cop.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's not good, because we as Black people can identify people of stature. And it's just like, you have he plays for your team. You probably got a jersey somewhere.
Right.
If not, one of your friends has a jersey, and this is how you want to treat them. Okay, cool. That's perfectly fine. It's not fine, but you get what I'm saying about it. It's like, we didn't expect it. We thought we expected better, but at the same time, your history has shown us that. Yeah. It's a headache talk. Oh my God, it's so, man. It's enough to make it seriously. I can guarantee you, every Black man has broken down and cried thinking about this.
Mm.
I can guarantee you that at least every Black man that cares about his race, that has a family, that cares about his family, they've cried about this situation, and the Black mothers have too. Yeah. Because we never know whether it's going to be us, our kids, or our family.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for speaking your truth and, showing us what a messed up situation this all is. So for those of us out there who feel similar, you feel like this needs to change, really, truly, this cannot go on. How can people educate themselves to be better allies for the Black community? And how can we support Black voices to continue speaking out and saying, this is not okay, this has to change?
I'm one of those people that believe that you talking to, and like on a simple level, you speak until there's no reason to talk anymore. You do your communication. And so if you're just anybody out there that's not a black coder that wants to help out, first thing I can tell you to do is find the most racist person you know. And I feel like it won't be hard for you to know who's racist in your life. I feel like it shouldn't be hard because you're on the inside like a secret agent almost. So they'll be willing to let things slip with you than they would be willing to slip with us. Like, be willing to I'm not gonna say invest in a black business. Of course you should do that if you want to do that. But if the business doesn't do good, don't invest in it. Don't go up to somebody's food joint and if you know their food sucks to you, go invest in them. Don't go gas them up like that. Just give a donation or something. Don't go try and buy food. You know, but bigger thing is just like make those people that are comfortable uncomfortable. Like, and when I say that, don't complain, don't blame them, but be willing to show them, like, or be willing to use the analogy like I used earlier. That's how I do. I try my best to put you in our shoes. It's like, how would you like it if every time you turned around, or for a whole year, every other month, every month almost, you saw a white face being mistreated by the cops, and it could, you know what I'm saying? It's non-gender. That's the thing that terrorizes all of Black America now, is that it's non-gender. At first, they were just targeting us, which let our women get cool with the situation. But now that they see that, then they've been seeing it, but at the same time, at one point in time, with food stamps and other things of that nature, you could not have the man in the household to receive those things. That's another reason why you have a lot of impoverished Black America not married, because of the simple fact is that, all right, if I marry my wife, some of this stuff is going to be gone that she's been using to accommodate herself or getting herself along. And that comes through the hierarchy of Lily. And the reason why they say systemic racism is because what we're dealing with now didn't start here. Like, when the 40 acres and a mule were being given out, we missed out on that. We never got our 40 acres and a mule. So there's a history of wealth that comes behind that simple 40 acres and a mule, especially in Texas. Especially in Texas. A lot of this land was, oh my God, given away for dirt cheap. And now you got all of these people with ranches and lands, and Texas is cash poor but land rich. Yeah. So if you really want to educate somebody like that, I would always tell people, go watch Hidden Colors. Don't believe everything, but go ahead and be willing to challenge your mind as to what you're about to see and what you believe is America. And then it'll give you a bigger insight on an educative level, detailed about what it truly means to be Black in America, and what circulates inside of our racist circle as a whole. Like, as a white lady, I'm pretty sure you may have met somebody that was related or know somebody in the Ku Klux Klan by chance.
It's possible. I'm not entirely sure, but it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I don't know for a fact if I have Black Panthers in my family or related, but at the same time, if you were to compare both organizations on a different level, it's like, okay, I might not know about nobody that's a Black Panther, but if I look deep enough, I could find it.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
It circulates in our race. So those like Hidden Colors is a good thing for you to find out what's circulating in our race on a mental level. But the biggest thing is just literally making people uncomfortable. And then as time is going along, that's what's going on now. And I thank God for sports. Thank God for sports, because you have all of these races that come into the same locker room. It's symbolic of what America is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. Like, you're supposed to be able to go out, get it together, discuss your differences, you know what I'm saying, whether it be on the field or in the locker room at home, but at the same time, we're on the same team. If something happens to you, I'm supposed to treat it like it happens to me. That's what it means to be on the same team. So if somebody low blows somebody on the field, I got to get mad at you because that could have been me. That could be my leg. You could have blew my leg out for the rest of the game, you know. But if America, if you get it now, if the race as a whole isn't treating it like we're all in the same locker room, it's like, bro, we're all in the same locker room. They want the same thing we want. They just don't want it to, you know, they got their own way of getting it. Yeah, man.
That's a really good analogy for this. Is like we're all in this together, and people act like we're not in this together.
Yeah, it's like that team. It's like basketball team. It's like a basketball team where you got like star players and everybody want their own shot. And they don't want to let nobody else shine.
Right.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Not like a good football team.
No. Football definitely is a good analogy. So as we kind of wrap up time here, is there anything you want? And usually when I do these interviews, I ask people the question of if you could transmit one message to the world, whether it's one sentence or two sentences, and everyone could hear it and receive it, what would it be? So I'm gonna change it a little bit for this interview. So if you could transmit one sentence to the world for people to hear in the midst of these protests across the United States against police brutality against Black bodies, what would you want people to hear? Because I know we've got media, saying a lot of things that necessarily aren't true or misrepresenting this protest. And so what would be the truth that you would want people to walk away from this experience and what we're going through as a country?
I would give two messages. One is to the protesters, one is to those that feel like we shouldn't be doing anything at all. The message to my protesters is simply this: don't give up, find more, keep going. Seriously. Number two, to those that are literally just trying to treat it like it doesn't happen, envision it being your color. Envision it being your women. Envision it being your daughters. Envision it being your sons, your brothers, your mothers, your sisters, and then go talk to a Black person. Then try to have that same argument. Because if your argument doesn't start with, well, if they were killing me and my family like that, you're not understanding that's what's going on to us. They're killing us and our family. Even if they're not kin to us, they feel like they're kin to us now. It's like at first you used to have that secluded racism, but now it's too broad. It's too broad. And like I said before, America now is like living in that's my line to them. America's like living in a relationship, and every time you walk in the house, you find out you're getting cheated on.
Well, thank you for speaking your truth. And my hope is that, that people get to experience your story and go out and join the protests and make a difference. If you want to continue making a difference in the lives of our Black brothers and sisters, I invite you to donate to the Southern Poverty Law Center, to the ACLU. I'll put some other resources, especially for bail in Texas for protesters who are being arrested, for petitions to sign so that the other 3 officers that were involved in George Floyd's murder are arrested. There are many, many things you can do if you're still concerned about getting out because of coronavirus, which, I still forget that's happening because of everything that's happening sometimes. But there are things, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and this is the life that we're living. But there are many, many things you can do to help out, literally in your own house from your laptop or your phone or from a library computer. So I will post those resources. And Aye Michael Eeh, thank you so much for giving your time and your voice and speaking truth to what matters. We really appreciate you.
Macy, thank you for giving a platform.
Absolutely.
No more weeping, don't you know? No.